At the UN Security Council, Pakistan resorted to baseless rhetoric against India, accusing it of silencing Kashmiri women. India strongly rebutted, calling Islamabad's claims a delusional tirade and highlighting Pakistan's own dark record. From the 1971 genocidal campaign in erstwhile East Pakistan to ongoing abductions, forced conversions, and sexual violence against minority women. India contrasted this with its consistent efforts to uphold women's rights and gender justice, exposing Pakistan's hypocrisy on the global stage.
The UN convened a debate to mark 25 years of Resolution 1325, the bedrock of the Women, Peace and Security agenda aimed at protecting women in conflict, integrating them into peace processes and preventing gender-based violence. Seizing this moment, Pakistan's envoy Saima Salim placed Kashmir center stage, accusing India of silencing Kashmiri women, deploying sexual violence as a weapon and erasing their stories from UN reports. In response, India's permanent representative to the UN, Ambassador Parvathaneni Harish, delivered a sharp, historically grounded rebuttal. He dismissed Islamabad's speech as a delusional tirade and challenged Pakistan to explain its own dark past before lecturing India. Harish reminded the Council that Pakistan's military has itself committed some of the worst violations in South Asia's history, particularly during Operation Searchlight when the Pakistani army launched a brutal crackdown in East Pakistan in 1971. He juxtaposed Pakistan's selective outrage over Kashmir against its refusal to reckon with its own record of mass violence, forced displacement and impunity.
Every year we are unfortunately fated to listen to the delusional tirade of Pakistan against my country, especially on Jammu and Kashmir, the Indian territory they covet. Our pioneering record on women, peace and security agenda is unblemished and unscathed. A country that bombs its own people, conducts systematic genocide, can only attempt to distract the world with misdirection and hyperbole.
Launched on March 25, 1971, Operation Searchlight was Pakistan's military campaign to suppress the East Pakistani independence movement. Over the course of the conflict, sexual violence was pervasive, with many historians and activists putting the range of women raped between 2 lakh and 4 lakh. Survivors and historical investigations note that these rapes were not only opportunistic but often systematic, deployed as a campaign to terrorize, humiliate and destabilize communities.
This is a country that conducted Operation Searchlight in 1971 and sanctioned a systematic campaign of genocidal mass rape of 400,000 women citizens by its own army. The world sees through Pakistan's propaganda.
Pakistan's shameful legacy did not end in 1971. It continues in the form of abductions, forced conversions, child marriages, and sexual violence against minority women, particularly Hindus and Christians in Sindh and Punjab. According to a 2024 report by the Sustainable Social Development Organization, Pakistan recorded 24,000 cases of abductions, 5,000 cases of rape, and 500 so-called dishonor killings last year alone. Hindu minor girls remain the most vulnerable, often kidnapped, forcibly married to their abductors, and converted against their will, crimes that Pakistan's judiciary routinely validates instead of punishing. In the recent past, Indian diplomat at the UN, Eldos Matthew Punus, delivered a scathing rebuttal reminding Islamabad of its shameful past and its ongoing abuse of women and minorities.
Rampant abduction, trafficking, child early and forced marriages and domestic servitude, sexual violence and forced religious conversions of thousands of vulnerable women and girls as weapons of persecution towards religious and ethnic minority communities are reported and chronicled, including in the recent OHCHR reports. These reports highlight that the vile acts by Pakistan are also validated by its judiciary. It is ironical that those who perpetrate these crimes are now masquerading as champions of justice. The duplicity and hypocrisy is self-evident.
This was not merely a symbolic gesture, but
India, by contrast, has steadily sought to use its UN presence and peacekeeping missions to champion gender inclusion and women's legacy. In 2007, India deployed the first ever all-female formed police unit to the UN mission in Liberia. More recently, India has committed to deploying women in its peacekeeping contingents training courses, for example, UNWSA 2025 and engagement platoons in conflict zones such as Abyei.
President, as we look ahead, India remains unwavering in its commitment to the women, peace and security agenda. We stand ready to share our expertise with partners, particularly those in the Global South, fostering collective solutions to shared challenges.
While Islamabad clings to denial and doublespeak, New Delhi's record demonstrates accountability, protection and action, values Pakistan has failed to uphold.